Tell me why the internet woke up shaking, because apparently 50 Cent didn't just fire shots at Diddy. He detonated a whole nuclear bomb on this man's legacy. And the craziest this video? It wasn't even about the RICO case. The freak-off tapes, the hidden mansions, or the I bought the house next door confession Christian accidentally rapped about. No, this time. 50 says Diddy wasn't just doing crimes. He was planning rituals. Humiliation rituals. Double crimes. Back-to-back violations so dark the internet is calling it the Puffy Purge Files. And honestly, what if 50 is right? What if the twins, the sons, the staff, the bodyguards, the white party workers, everybody was just one humiliation ritual away from being sacrificed for clout, control, and silence? Because 50 didn't just expose Diddy, he exposed the system Diddy allegedly built. Why did Diddy force certain people into humiliating roles? Why did every favor come with a threat? Why are all these ex-employees suddenly terrified and talking? And why does every new leak make it look like Diddy was running Hollywood like a private cult? Strap in, because if 50's receipts are real, this isn't a scandal anymore, it's a war from the moment this new leak dropped. The entire internet went silent for 3 seconds and then exploded. Like someone kicked open the gates of a secret underground bunker. Because this time, 50 Cent didn't just call Diddy a criminal, a manipulator, or the unofficial CEO of chaos. No, he accused him of something far darker, far older, and far more calculated than anyone expected. A planned humiliation ritual, a double crime, a setup so detailed, so intentional, and so disturbing that even people who never believed a single rumor about Diddy were forced to pause and say, okay, now what the hell is this? The story begins with a private audio file that 50 claims someone anonymously sent him at 3:17 a.m., and according to 50, the timing wasn't random. The message came with a note that said he used to do the rituals at this hour. From the very first second, the audio was filled with muffled voices, clinking glasses, rustling clothes, and what sounded like a terrified assistant saying, "Sir, I don't think they agreed to this." Another voice, allegedly Diddy's, responded with something chilling. "They don't have to agree. They owe me." This is this video of the process. That line alone sent social media into cardiac arrest. Because suddenly, every strange moment surrounding Diddy's parties, every wild rumor about the freak-offs, and every random complaint from ex-staff started to line up like puzzle pieces people didn't even realize they were collecting. And 50, being 50, didn't drop the audio quietly. No, he posted a cryptic caption saying, "Everything comes to light when the devil forgets to pay the electricity bill." Instantly, people started connecting dots. Why were Diddy's assistants always quitting in groups? Why did so many celebrities describe his parties as strange, uncomfortable, or like entering another world? Why did some call it initiation night? And more importantly, why were there so many stories about Diddy forcing people into humiliating situations while insisting it was this video of the experience? But the real gasoline on this fire was the claim that the ritual wasn't just humiliation for control. It was humiliation for leverage. According to 50, this wasn't about fun, freedom, or freakiness. It was about creating evidence. Evidence he could hold over people. Evidence that could force loyalty. Evidence that could silence anyone who tried to leave or expose him. And the leak revealed that one particular Night One event involving a certain well-known artist had supposedly required 2 levels of humiliation. A double crime, one meant to break the spirit, and one meant to bind the person permanently in fear. Multiple unnamed insiders supposedly contacted 50 after the audio surfaced, each claiming that the same ritual happened at least 3 times a year. One ex-bodyguard said, "You're not invited to his parties. You're recruited." Another party worker said, he didn't just want obedience, he wanted footage. Suddenly, the rumors about hidden cameras in strange places, locked rooms, controlled lighting, and hand-picked guest lists started making sense. Or at least social media convinced itself. that it all connected seamlessly. What really shook people was when 50 pointed out that several celebrities who had been close to Diddy once upon a time had a sudden and permanent fallout with him right after attending events that insiders said were ritual nights. The timeline was too clean, too suspicious, and too convenient for the internet to ignore. And then the question nobody wanted to ask finally surfaced: were those celebrity meltdowns, sudden disappearances, and career crashes really coincidence? Or were they consequences of refusing to participate anymore? To make things even worse, more leaks started popping up, almost like someone was intentionally releasing a breadcrumb trail. One employee anonymously posted that every humiliation ritual had 3 steps: the request, the resistance, and the punishment. The request would be something absurd, something degrading, something meant to break confidence. The resistance, which almost everyone experienced, was when the person hesitated or refused. And the punishment was when the real humiliation happened. That punishment, according to these leaks, was always recorded. The person never knew they were being filmed. And once Diddy had the footage, he had the control. But the real punch in the throat was the claim that the latest double crime wasn't just caught on audio, it was caught on video. A video 50 claimed he had seen. A video he said he would never release but will absolutely talk about. And just that sentence alone was enough to send Diddy's fans, critics, and even neutral observers into a frenzy. Because if video proof exists, then suddenly the entire empire Diddy built isn't just suspicious, it's incriminating. And while all this was happening, Christian, Justin, and even the twin daughters became this video of the conversation again. People started questioning their strange loyalty. Why defend a man who keeps drowning deeper in allegations? Why attack 50 when his documentary is exposing confirmed patterns? Were they protecting him because they loved him, or because they feared him? Or worse, because they had also been this video of the process without even realizing it. Because when 50 said this was the beginning of an unraveling, he wasn't playing. Not even a little. Within 24 hours of that message disappearing from his page, 3 new anonymous accounts popped up online, each claiming to have worked inside Diddy's inner circle. And strangely, all 3 accounts told eerily similar stories. Stories about nights that didn't feel like parties but rituals. Nights where the atmosphere shifted from glamorous to unsettling. Nights where people weren't guests, they were participants. Whether they knew it or not, one of the accounts described a level 2 night. And that phrase sent the internet spiraling because it matched the exact wording 50 used when he described the double crime. According to this whistleblower, level 1 humiliation was bad enough. Forced performances, forced outfits, forced interactions meant to test loyalty. But level 2? That was where Diddy allegedly broke people psychologically. The account claimed that level 2 always involved isolation, alcohol spiked without consent, aggressive pressure, and a room with a single camera no one could see. And the worst, this video? The person selected for level 2 had no idea they had been chosen until the moment it started. The whistleblower said something that ripped through social media like a blade. He didn't call it a punishment. He called it awakening. When that line went viral, everything changed. Suddenly, the conversation wasn't about whether Diddy was guilty. It was about how long he'd been doing this, who helped him, who covered it up, and how many people were trapped in silence because they feared footage leaking. And right in the middle of that firestorm, 50 dropped another bomb, an old text exchange he claimed came from a former party worker. The messages were short but terrifying. One read, "They think it's a party. They don't know what he plans for them." Another said, "He likes making people beg. That's when he records." And the final message? "He told me humiliation makes people loyal." If that doesn't sound like ritual behavior, what does? Meanwhile, Diddy remained silent. His lawyers posted vague statements, his PR team tried deflecting with old charity photos, and his family went into defense mode. But the silence from Diddy himself? That was the loudest this video. People noticed, people questioned. And then the craziest thing happened. A journalist from a major media outlet reported that the federal investigation into Diddy had expanded. Apparently, the feds were asking witnesses about psychological manipulation, forced participation, and possible blackmail. The exact words used in 50s leaks. To make matters messier, an ex-security contractor came forward with claims that Diddy kept binders, thick binders full of names, photos, notes, and coded symbols for different nights and different rituals. The whistleblower said, "Everybody who mattered was in those binders, even the ones who pretend they don't know him anymore." The idea that Diddy treated people like files, like assets, like items in a control system, it made everything darker, more calculated, more ritualistic than anyone expected. Social media blew up again, especially when people began linking old footage of celebrities speaking about being uncomfortable at Diddy's parties, or refusing to attend his events, or joking about weird vibes. Someone who had refused to participate in a ritual. Someone who allegedly threatened to go to the press. The whistleblower said humiliation was his language for punishment. If someone betrayed him, he didn't just cut them off. He made sure they remembered who was in control. Another tip, supposedly from a former chauffeur, added an even more chilling detail. According to him, Diddy had a phrase he used before every ritual: break them before they leave. And after the ritual ended, he'd say, "Now they understand." If true, that means the humiliation wasn't just spontaneous cruelty. It was strategic, methodical, a system. Meanwhile, 50 continued dropping indirect hints. POS Tajej, black and white clips, old music references, and captions that said things like, "They thought the house next door was empty," or "The files don't lie." Fans started speculating that Diddy had multiple safe houses, multiple hidden rooms, multiple storage locations for footage. People began theorizing that the house Christian bragged about in his diss track might have been one of those storage units. And if 50 had access to that information, what else did he have? Then came the biggest shock, a rumor that one of Diddy's longtime associates was preparing to testify. Not just anonymously, publicly. And this testimony, according to insiders, involved a night labeled Ritual 7, supposedly one of the worst nights ever recorded. The associate claimed to have seen someone begging Diddy to stop, crying, apologizing, saying they would do anything. And Diddy reportedly responded, "This is the price of loyalty." That line spread across the internet like wildfire. It became the center of every blog, every thread, every conspiracy breakdown. As the pressure built, fans started turning on the twins again. They questioned how the daughters could defend their father when so much evidence, so many testimonies, and so many patterns were piling up. Some blamed fear. Some blamed brainwashing. Some blamed guilt. And as the internet tore into them, more leaks appeared, almost like someone wanted the world to know exactly how deep this went. And just when it felt like the storm couldn't get any darker, 50 made a final late-night post. He's not panicking about the accusations. He's panicking about what people haven't seen yet. And the moment he posted that, the entire internet froze. Because that one sentence, "he's panicking about what people haven't seen yet," didn't sound like a joke, or a troll, or a petty jab. It sounded like a man who knew something. Something big. Something dangerous. Something that could flip this whole case upside down. Within hours, speculation erupted like an explosion. People began whispering about a vault. Not a digital folder, not a cloud account, but a physical vault. A room built behind a false wall in one of Diddy's older properties. According to a new anonymous tip, the vault wasn't filled with money or gold or jewelry. No, it supposedly contained tapes, hard drives, confidential files, and something the tipster called the humiliation logs. These logs, they claimed, detailed every ritual, every participant, every night categorized by date and rank. Level 1, Level 2, Level 3. Level 3 was labeled irreversible. That word alone sent shockwaves through social media. What could be so irreversible that even Diddy's team never talked about it? Was it blackmail? Was it physical harm? Was it something darker? People went back and started rewatching clips from old award shows, old interviews, old red carpet moments. Moments where celebrities stepped away from Diddy when he approached. Moments where someone refused a hug. Moments where someone joked about staying upstairs where it's safe. All those clips suddenly felt like puzzle pieces, connecting into a picture nobody wanted to see. But here's where the story turns nuclear. Late into the night, an ex-employee, someone who claimed to be this video of the construction crew on Diddy's house, leaked a drawing, a blueprint. It showed a storage room with reinforced flooring, extra insulation, and a door with no outward handle. A room only accessible through a sliding panel hidden behind a bookshelf. The whistleblower said, "We didn't know what it was for at the time. They told us it was a soundproof studio. But I've built studios. This wasn't one." People zoomed into the blueprint, circled areas, compared it to satellite images, compared it to property blueprints from years ago. Every angle pointed to one thing: Diddy had a secret vault. And if 50's words were accurate, he had access to something inside it. Or at least knowledge of what was in it. And that alone terrified the internet, because what happens when a man like 50 Cent hints he has leverage? Diddy's legal team immediately went into crisis mode. 3 statements released in one day. 2 denials. 1 attempt at deflection. None of them worked. Because every leak 50 hinted at kept lining up with every rumor people had ignored for years. The house next door. The binders. The rituals. The humiliation. The coded invitations. The way every celebrity who fell out with Diddy suddenly disappeared from the industry for a while. All of it formed a trail people were now following like detectives. Then came the moment no one expected. A leaked voicemail. No one knows who posted it. No one knows how it was recorded. But the voice was unmistakable. Deep, calm, angry, Diddy. The clip was short but haunting. He said, "I don't care who's talking. I don't care who's leaking. They all signed. They all participated. They all benefited. Nobody walks away clean." That line spread faster than wildfire. Because it sounded like a man cornered. A man whose empire depended on silence. A man implying blackmail wasn't a rumor, it was a policy. And the internet reacted exactly how you'd expect: full chaos. People dissected the line frame by frame, word by word, syllable by syllable. They all participated. They all signed. Nobody walks away clean. That line shifted the narrative. Suddenly the question wasn't, did Diddy do it? The question became, how many other powerful names are tied to these rituals? Celebrities went quiet. Nobody defended him. Nobody liked his posts. Nobody stood beside him publicly. The silence was louder than a confession, and then the shutdown happened. Multiple media outlets reported that federal agents revisited one of Diddy's older homes, the same one rumored to have the vault. They were seen carrying out bags, boxes, containers, evidence coolers. Something happened inside that house, but the public wasn't told what. The story had been sealed. But 50 wasn't done, not even close. Hours after the raid news broke, 50 posted a single sentence: "Check the walls." That one sentence detonated the internet again. Because "check the walls" didn't sound random. It sounded like a clue, a dare, a message directly toward the investigators or directly toward Diddy. People speculated the walls held hidden panels, hidden drives, hidden files, hidden evidence. Some said the walls might hold wiring for cameras. Others said the walls might hide journals or logs. But the majority believed one thing: the walls held the truth behind the rituals. This entire scandal, which started as accusations and headlines, had now become a full-blown conspiracy with physical evidence, corroborated whistleblowers, leaked messages, hidden rooms, federal raids. And the most dangerous, this video, a man like 50 Cent promising more. Online analysts, podcasters, and bloggers began connecting the dots. They said the humiliation rituals weren't random acts of control, they were currency. Power currency, insurance, a system built on fear and shame strong enough to keep anyone obedient for life. And if those tapes really existed, then there were people out there who would do anything, absolutely anything, to destroy them. before they surfaced, which brings us to the final twist of this installment. A rumor began circulating that someone inside Diddy's team was planning to flip. A major insider. Someone with access to the vault? Someone who allegedly contacted federal agents with a message. I'll show you exactly what's inside. The name wasn't revealed. The timing wasn't revealed. But the implication was crystal clear. The rituals were real. The vault was real. And the double crime 50 teased? It might be the key to bringing the entire empire crashing down, because this time it wasn't about a scandal. It wasn't about drama. It wasn't about music beef. It was about exposure. And once the truth starts leaking, it never stops. And now that we've peeled back every layer of this mess, every leaked file, every whispered ritual, every double crime accusation stacking up like Diddy is speedrunning self-destruction. I need you to understand something. We are still only scratching the surface. Because if 50 Cent is dropping this much smoke on the timeline, imagine how much fire is still hiding behind the scenes. Imagine the NDAs waiting to snap. Imagine the bodyguards who haven't cracked yet. Imagine the celebrities who were smiling in the photos but crying in the bathrooms. There is an entire avalanche of truth sitting on the edge, and all it takes is one more push for everything to collapse. So now the question is simple. Do you think Diddy survives this? Or is this the scandal that finally breaks the illusion, the empire, and the legacy he spent decades manufacturing? Drop your thoughts below, because I'm reading every single theory, every single comment, and every wild prediction you've got. And if you want the next chapter the moment it drops, hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Because trust me, the next leak is coming, and when it does, you'll want to be here first. You'll want to be here first.